Hello, my dears. This is Resilient Lives, and I'm sending you today gems of peace in a noisy world. Little nuggets, because it just seems like it's so much going on. And it's Wednesday, and we've made it halfway through another week. How are you? Checking in to see how you are. We must do this daily. It could even be throughout the day, just doing a mind check, just to see how we're doing on this thriving journey. Every day there seems to be another layer of noise and chaos. And it's important for us to pause and do a little self-care. And I want to send a little love and just check in on you, because my day has been a little crazy, and people are getting sick. I know people personally who are getting sick, who are dealing with illnesses that aren't even related to the COVID. That's just another layer of life happening in different one's life. And then, of course, we want to send out prayers for all of the crises and natural crises. We have Hurricane Sally and flooding and homes and people's lives being lost. We have the fires in California. And so it's just, people are concerned about their family in Alabama. And this is layer upon layer of disaster. And this is when we want to pause and take a deep breath. And of course, remember those whose lives are being lost and impacted. We want to take a pause to just to send our love out into the universe, because we still have this pandemic. And we were talking about preparedness yesterday. And here we are on Wednesday. How to get prepared is something that we do on a number of levels. We stock up physically and mentally, and emotionally. We want to get plenty of rest, because when we're tired or, the defenses are down, someone said to me, don't start no trouble, it won't be no trouble. But sometimes we're not in charge of starting the troubles. And so I just want to briefly, just in my sending nuggets of peace and joy, is just to remind you that whenever there has been a crisis or disaster, in the aftermath, there is so many emotions that are going on, and instantly, our mind goes to these emotions, and these emotions are the things that set the moods, and then the moods are the things that stabilize our temperament. So as we going through all of what's going on now, the first thing we got to do is instantly, when something happens, we've got to instantly realize that emotion and yank it. What's that emotion doing? Where is it settling? What's it doing? And we've got to grab it, think about it, because this emotion that's being triggered by whatever the life event is about to trigger a mood change. And if we're not careful, this mood change is going to decide on whatever the temperament that is going to stabilize your life. So you really, really, really want to get into the habit of letting that antenna go up and say, okay, what am I thinking? What did he just say to me? What just happened? We want to quickly grab it, because we know that negative emotions can really have a negative impact on ourselves. And we know that life is full of triggers that's happening every day. Every day. There seems to be no let up. And so I just want to let you know that you're loved, and we must be in the habit of checking out everything that's going on in our lives. We want to listen and stop that mood from developing. So I just we've talked about mindset, and we've talked about so many different things, but it's interesting to know that a mood, a word or something can set the tone. But together, that's why it's important to know what we have. We have each other, and we have the vital friends, and we know that together is healing. We also know that a powerful network is also healing. We have seen how, and I'm talking about a social network. We have, we are virtually connecting with each other, and people are on Instagrams and Facebook. Sometimes whenever there's been a disaster, they've been able to connect. So there are any number of things. So we have the power of the social network. We have our virtual get together, but these are things that are going to help us during this time. And so, what can I say other than be good to yourself? It's Wednesday. I know for myself, usually Wednesday is my fun day, and I'm just trying not to be stuck, and I hope you are too. We are virtually thriving and supporting each other. We're developing our networks. We're looking at how to become resilient. We know that if we can grab those thoughts, the mind is so interesting. And that's why we were talking about meditation and solitude, how to get the mind to calm down and to be quiet. And I read someplace that meditation, the Tibetans define meditation as as becoming familiar, familiarization. And so when we are thinking about these negative thoughts that come into our mind, what we're doing is becoming instantly familiar with developing a new way of dealing with this thought, going to the source. So instead of meditating, and sometimes they would say meditate and ignore the words or just let them float by and don't attach to them. Well, if we're looking at the Tibetan definition of meditation, then we are trying to become familiar with a new way of framing this thought, a new way that's going to be positive and help us deal with this stress. And so I leave you with that thought, remembering that this is Wednesday. You're halfway there. Be safe, and remember, anytime a thought comes, instantly know that it's going to change your mood and you've got to jump on it, because the mood is going to change and establish your temperament. But if we familiarize ourselves with that process, and know what's happening, then we are going to develop a new way of framing that emotion. That emotion could be deadly. So have a good evening, and we'll talk again. Enjoy your night.